Hi everyone, it is Teresa from Teresa's Silhouette Spot for all things art. Teresa Grant, those who may recognize my name from the Creative Maker Movement page with Ashley and Sarah. I am here to join Maker Week, and I'm so excited to be a part of this and teach you guys a little bit about something that I do. I am a level 1 certified one-stroke decorative painter. So I have been certified by Donna Dewberry, the woman who started One Stroke Decorative Painting 5 years ago. And I love it. Painting is my therapy. I love to share painting. I love to paint. I'm constantly going, ooh, paint that. Everything I see, ooh, I have so many surfaces and wood and furniture I could paint. Anyway, so that's not why we're here. We are here so I can share a project with you guys. So I have this blank. I've already cut the stencil. I'm using Silhouette 813 reusable stencil for this. If sometimes, see how I have these little cursive lettering? That's a little hard for me still to cut out of Mylar. I'm sure it's possible. I don't know if I'm going to be a seller or not. So before I spend time creating a Mylar reusable stencil, I'll just make this one. I'm going to share it with you guys, and we'll see how it goes. So I am actually going to start out with the stenciling part because, believe it or not, I'm a little nervous. So I'm going to start out stenciling, and then we will get to the honeybee hive and the honeybees. So I'm going to switch my camera, and this will work. Still learning how to do this, and I will take it from there. We go. Here's my camera switch. It's a little glare, so I will try to not have it be so glary for you guys. Oh, well, hope it works out. So I'm going to start. I'm stenciling everything black except the beehive. You guys all know how to do this. So I mostly use a makeup sponge. I dip it in, and then I take as much off as possible. When I do my paint parties, I tell people you still want to be able to see some pink in there. Oh, and then sometimes I even blot it off. And I will do a very, very light coat start. You guys don't need this. I was going to do the stencil part without you all. Then I figured, what the heck, I want to do the whole project. So here I am stenciling with you. Sometimes I'm going to cheat or make life a little easier for myself. I'm going to grab a little piece of tape and put it here, so I don't have to worry about that little square period at the end of my sign. I'm getting black on my white. I could even go so far as to tape off the hive for now, but I'm not going to do that. I'll just be careful of it. So I hope you guys all enjoyed Maker Week. It was a lot of fun, right? We have some really talented people in this group. I love it. I love the community. I love what we've learned. I love getting the SVGs every month. So much with them. And I'm doing the stenciling part first. A, it'll dry pretty quick, and B, this way I'll be able to put placement. I know I'm going to put my hive up here, but this way, once the stenciling is done, I'll be able to put my bees wherever I want. I'll probably do a couple of them just to show you how I paint them. And oh, got a little bit on there. The beauty of the bees and when you paint the bee, I'll show you this too. Painting a bee is just like painting get my big head out. Painting a bee just like painting a one-stroke leaf. So if I were to use greens on my brush, I would get a leaf. Since I'm using yellow on my brush and then putting some black accents on it, it turns into a bee. So that's all I'm going to do for stenciling now. I'm going to rip this off. Oh, it's taking up some of my paint. Darn it. That's what happens because I got it set up last night. So we're not going to worry about that. I can always touch up the white. Do use vinyl. This is my favorite pick. Weed and pick. My favorite. Have to fix. Okay. Here we go. And that's that part. So like I said, I'm going to go back in. I'll fix the white. Then I'm going to show you how basics of one stroke. So I have two different colors of yellow here, bright yellow and a dark yellow. In one stroke, the theory behind it is to blend, shade, and highlight all in one stroke. There we go. So I use a flat brush for just about everything. Mostly use flat brush and a liner brush. You want to dip corner in each color of paint. Both colors of paint halfway on your brush. That's called double load. And then you're going to use this little part here like a runway. You want to get the paint nice and loaded onto the brush, up into the bristles, but not all the way up into this part to the ferrule. You don't want it up there, but you do want a decent amount of paint. Halfway up, quarters of the way up. And I'm going to start out showing you top of I'm trying to see if I can get, I don't know why there is such a shadow, but here we go. So I'm going to start out with a little U stroke. And when you make the U stroke, you're going to start out with the chisel edge of the brush, which is the flat end. And then you just spread bristles, make a little U. And I usually go back, depending on what I'm painting, but I usually go back and pick up paint every stroke. And then a beehive is, somewhat like an upside down cone, TP. So you're going to take colors of your brush, you're going to use your brush, and you want to start close. and I'm going to do the first layer. Now we don't really have to worry about overlapping. We want them to overlap, and we want to see two different colors. I always tell people, when you hand paint, wait till the end. Painting is a process, and you might not love it at first. As you paint along, see how it all comes together. And I'm just using these two colors of paint. I always use folk art multi-surface paint. Well, not always, but 98% of the time I do. And you know it's multi-surface because it has this little key on the top for glass, plastic, and wood. I use them on metal. There's some colors you can't get in multi-surface paint just yet, so I use regular folk art acrylic paint for that. But 90% of my paint, oh, that's my daughter. 90% of my paint is folk art. I like its consistency. This multi-surface paint has a built-in sealer, but if I do projects for outside, I seal them anyway. And I just graduated my circles, I guess ovals, as I went along. Using both colors of paint. I think this one has to come out a little further. The one on top is big. Basically, gradually oval, oval, making them a little wider as we go until you have the shape and the size that you want. Excuse me. Okay, sorry. So get too much paint. You don't ever want to put your brush in water. I just wipe it off and start over when I have paint build up. Oh, okay. Just gonna rinse my brush now. Once you changing colors, obviously you're gonna wash it, but you wanna dry it off really, really good. Then I'm going to some burnt umber, or any dark brown that you have. Just need a little bit of this to do it for the hive. Now I'm using my liner brush. I want to make a tiny little circle. Okay, if the yellow shows through, gives the whole little dimension. We're going to go back and add a highlight anyway once it dries. And then just want to go in and add the curves for the portions for our hive. You want the strokes not to go straight. They don't even have to go all the way across. I want to add some little outline and highlight to it. And there's your beehive. I'm going to wait for the whole to dry. I might add a little, let's see, a little bit of brown outside. Okay. Now I'm going to switch brushes. I was using this size brush. I'm going to go to a much smaller brush to show you guys how I do the little buzzing bees. Use this one. I said I'm going to show you. Let's see. Do I have a piece of paper? Let's use this paper. This aside for 1 second. I'm going to show you. Get out some green. And this time I'm going to put green and yellow on my brush to show you guys the two colors in the leaf stroke. Okay. So when you're doing a one-stroke leaf, you want to hold the brush at an angle, straight up and down, push to a point, and then add a stem. And it's as easy as that. Now, obviously, with a leaf, I'm going to have it a little bit on an angle. Start on the chisel edge, push to a point, and add a stem. There, make two leaves. So, I'm just showing you how we adapt that for the bee. And this time I'm only going to use the one color. We're going to go back in. I'm just getting yellow on my brush. We're going to go back in and add the black highlights. So the same thing. So you have, depending on, I always have to turn my surface, depending on which direction you want it to go in. I'm going to start here. I'm going to push down to a point. Oh, ran out of paint. Sorry. I'm going to push down. Point. Okay. Now I'm going to do all the yellow first. Like I said, trust the process. I'm going to do all the yellow first, and then I'll go back in and show you how to turn these little leaf stroke into a bee. Able to fix white there, so I'm not going to get too close. And I find it easier when I'm painting to push away. So I'm going to clean that off. I'm going to go back to my liner brush. And I had blackout before that I used for. So these are they look like paper plates, but they're plastic and I reuse them. That's why they're so painty. But I want to thin up my black a little bit. So I dip the brush in water and I'm just adding a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of water. This black paint just to thin it up slightly. A lot easier to use a liner brush when your paint is a little thinner. I want to thank Ashley for inviting me for Creator Week this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I loved seeing everyone's projects. I always love seeing everyone's project. Everyone is so talented, and I feel like we're always our own worst critics when it comes to artwork and stuff. So anyway, let me see if I can get you closer. Or maybe, you know what's a good idea? Maybe I can move the camera down since I do have this camera. How's that? Sorry if I'm giving anybody seasickness. How's that? So I have a little bit of black on the brush and I have my buzzing bees. I'm just gonna go in. Okay. I'm just gonna go in and add tiny little strokes. Tiny, tiny, tiny little strokes. Make the stripes on the bees. A little more paint. And if you see what I'm doing, they almost have a curve to them. They're a little higher in the middle than they are on the ends. Kind of gives it the illusion of being round. Right? And then I'm going to show you a trick too. I take the back of the brush and dip the end of the brush, black paint, and that's how we the head. Okay? And I'm going to go back to my liner and add antenna. Push down for a dot and then gently, gently, gently pull with the liner brush. The last thing we need is wings. And I'm going to show you again. We use the same stroke for the wings as we did when I showed you the leaf and the bumblebee. And it's the leaves are the wings are white and they just have a hint of black. So I'm going to put all white on my brush, white, And then the tiniest, tiniest, tiniest bit of black on the corner. I don't want it to be too much black. I might just see how it looks too much. So I'm going to go back and start over. Too much black there. I didn't want that much white. And then the tiniest, tiniest, tiniest bit. Always add more. So then I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to start up here, and we're just going to start on the chisel, down. Okay. And we have two wings. I'm going to put them together, down, and push. I know they're hard to see because the wings are basically clear, but they're there. You just want a hint of the black. And then the same thing on this side. Start in the corner by the head, down, and every time I do it, I want to pick up fresh white. And push, angle, and push. Then there's also the time when, well, it's going to be hard to show you with this one, but when the bees, show you with this one, have wings, I'll land one up there because otherwise these pretty much look like they're flying. And sometimes they have the wings where they're folded, but that's pretty much when they're landed. Up a little too much black in that one, so I'm going to let that one dry, and then I will go back and fix it. If I fix it now, it would just get all muddy and worse. And so these basically the bodies and the leaves were all made with the same stroke. Different because it depends on what color you put on your brush or what size your brush is. And I'm going to grab my liner again. This always looks cute. Get a little bit of water again, just on the tip of it. Loosen up my black paint a little bit, make it a little thinner. And then I'm going to go in and add little tiny, tiny strokes. These are just buzzing along. And more paint. And that's it. I will fix my white on my home. But let's switch again. That's basically design. Put as many bees as you want. I'm going to add a little bit of brown here. Oh, I forgot to add my highlight. So I'm going to add a little bit of brown to the whole. And I'm going to add a little bit of white up here for a highlight. And that's it. Oh, there it is. Home is where your honey is with my beehive and my little one-stroke bumblebees. So I hope you enjoyed this little project that I came up with. And I will see you in the maker movement. Thanks, guys.